Hello guys, it's Salvaje, and as you guys know, I think Fortnite Save the World is the best PvE game of all time, and I think the game right now in its current state is really amazing, and when we get to Fortnite Save the World Season 10, it's going to be even better in my opinion. But despite the fact that I really enjoy playing this game, there are a lot of things that I can't stand about this game. So I decided to pick 10 things that I can't stand about Fortnite Save the World and make 2 videos on the 5 things that I can't stand about Save the World. This is going to be part 1, where I of course again share 5 things that I hate about this game. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop it a like. If you didn't, drop it a dislike, and let me know what are the top 5 things that you can't stand about Fortnite Save the World. And if you want to go the extra mile, let me know what are your top 10. See you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. So the first thing that I can't stand about Save the World is the group rewarding system. And quite honestly, I think it's really unfair for me to say this, right? Because for Epic Games to develop an individual rewarding system, it would probably take them months or maybe even a year. And basically that would mean that next to no features would come out in Fortnite Save the World, right? Which is why I don't really, go out and complain about this too much, man. But I think this is the biggest problem that Fortnite Save the World has, right? This group reward system. As you guys are seeing in the gameplay in the background, as you guys are going to be seeing, I basically did all of the encampments by myself in this mission, and my teammates didn't even help at all. And at the end of the day, when the mission's going to be over, they're going to be getting the same rewards that I'm going to get. That is complete bullshit. There should be a minimum threshold that every single teammate should actually meet when it comes down to combat, building, and utility score, so that they can actually get the maximum reward that we earned as a team in the mission. Alright, I spoke about this system in my individual reward system video that you can check out in my Fortnite Save the World playlist down in the description. But long story short, I just hate the group rewarding system, because you could have a guy that's AFK, right? And that guy is still just going to get the rewards that everybody else is going to get, right? The minimum that they can do is make it so that if players don't really reach a specific threshold of score when it comes down to combat, building, and utility, they can get the rewards, but the mission doesn't count as a successful mission, because a lot of the quests in Fortnite Save the World, you need to do it in a successful mission, otherwise the quests don't count. Now, of course, I know there are flaws, when it comes down to that suggestion. Players are going to just reach the minimum threshold of combat, utility, and building score, and then just AFK. But that means that there is actually some sort of effort that players have to put in to AFK. And of course, the higher the power level of the mission, the higher the threshold that it becomes, right? In other words, if there is some sort of effort that players need to put to AFK, that is going to drastically reduce the amount of AFK players, because the worst of the worst AFK players basically just sit at spawn doing absolutely nothing. So that's the number one thing I can't stand about Save the World right now. The group reward system is just terrible, but for the most part, I'm usually playing with one more friend, and me and my friend are usually doing most of the work, and we don't really mind doing it because, we're pretty good players and we like the challenge. But I do have to say, man, this is the number one thing that sometimes makes Save the World not enjoyable, specifically when I'm playing as a solo player. The second thing that I can't stand about Save the World is the fact that we can't build on specific areas, and this basically just penalizes the mission objective, right? This basically just punishes the player for bad game design. Like, it's not even our fault that we can't build around an atlas, but we're gonna get penalized for it, right? It's ridiculous. The fact that we can't build underground, it's something that needs to be fixed, like right now. I have seen so many players lose missions, and not just lose missions, but come very close to losing missions because of bad game design. Again, the player is getting punished for a mistake that the developer did, and in my opinion, that is unacceptable, okay? Another thing that Epic can do is they can go to these desert maps, for example, and they can make it so that atlases don't spawn on specific locations, because as you guys know, for the desert map, for example, there's only like 3 variations of that map. So Epic can actually go ahead and fix this. It's just that they don't want to fix it, and it honestly just pisses me off. The third thing that I can't stand about Save the World is that sometimes the game is unbearable to watch. I don't really think this game is going to have a lot of support on Twitch because of how dark it is. All of this purple mist, you know, that it's always like on screen, sometimes makes the game really unbearable to watch. I just don't like it, right? I like to think about the viewer experience in Fortnite Save the World, right? And sometimes I'm editing a video and I'm just like, is the viewer even going to understand what's going on in the screen or going to have like a general idea of what I'm doing? Because the smokescreen modifier, my friends, which is why I chose this gameplay, because it has the smokescreen modifier. The smokescreen modifier just makes the gameplay look disgusting. Please remove that modifier from the game, Epic Games. I just can't stand the purple mist. Sometimes I'm fighting Husk, I'm trying to get some gameplay, and this smokescreen modifier just covers up my entire screen and my viewers have no idea what's happening. It's just so terrible. I can't stand it. Another thing that I would really like if Epic adds into the game is give me an option to turn off this purple storm type filter. I just want my viewers to have, you know, I want my viewers to see what's going on like in the actual match. Like, I get it, you know, the purple storm clouds and all that, it's for immersion. That's cool, but give us an option to turn it off, because again, I want my viewers to be looking at something pretty. I don't want my viewers to be looking at a game that's completely dark, right? Specifically, since some missions in the game take place during the day and they just look extremely beautiful, right? That's what I want to show to my viewers, not this freaking smokescreen modifier or this purple shit that's always in all of the freaking matches. The fourth thing that I can't stand about Fortnite Save the World is the state of modifiers in the game, and that applies to positive as well as negative modifiers. I want to talk about positive modifiers. There are next to no positive modifiers in Fortnite Save the World, and most of the positive modifiers are just completely useless. Like, for example, there's a modifier that when you double jump as a ninja and you land, it causes like a small explosion on the ground. But that small explosion basically does next to no damage, okay? Or there's also like the positive modifier of extra club damage. Nobody uses clubs in Fortnite Save the World. What does that modifier even exist? When I say that I can't stand the state of modifiers, positive and negative, I also mean this, right? There should be more positive modifiers as well. Like, modifiers need to be balanced out just like Destiny does it, for example, right? On top of all that, when it comes down to positive modifiers, there needs to be more positive modifiers that inspire different styles of play. So for example, after you use throwing stars, you get 10 critical rating added to sword sights and clubs, for example. Or after you use a smoke bomb, you regenerate 15% of your health, right? And there should be modifiers that sort of cater around abilities and specific subclasses, right? Because this basically sort of makes it so that the gameplay variety in Save the World can sort of spice up. And if you want to fully maximize a mission, you're going to be playing a hero, for example, that has the shockwave and the going commando ability, because it is going to be helping you out big time. And that moves me forward to negative modifiers, right? You know, negative modifiers need to be balanced out. Explosive Death Burst, it's the most disgusting modifier in the entire game. And I have never met anyone that has told me that Explosive Death Burst is a great addition to the game. In fact, most people that I meet, they just want Explosive Death Burst gone from the game. I actually disagree. I think Explosive Death Burst has a place in the game as long as it's balanced. The explosion damage of Explosive Death Burst should only damage players, and if it's going to damage structures, then it needs to be balanced out, because as it currently stands at the endgame levels of play, Explosive Death Burst just does way too much damage to structures and it melts structures completely. I also think Explosive Death Burst should only be activated if you kill a Husk with melee. If you kill a Husk with a trap or a ranged weapon, Explosive Death Burst should not activate. Or maybe Explosive Death Burst should only not activate if a Husk dies with a trap, for example. This basically means that you're more enticed to sort of put traps. Every modifier in Fortnite Save the World needs to be balanced out, right? Acid pools, for example, it's a disgusting modifier. It should only trigger if you kill a Husk with a melee weapon, for example. This is going to encourage you using ranged weapons, right? Melee heroes are extremely powerful on offensive type missions, like destroy the encampments. So maybe, of course, put the acid pools on destroy the encampments, so to, you know, discourage people from playing melee and, you know, to have more people you know, use ranged weapons. Look, I know it's kind of shitty, right? But I'm just trying to meet Epic Games sort of like somewhere in the middle, right? I don't want to be like, yeah, just remove all modifiers, they're trash. You guys get what I mean? But maybe if you think that explosive death burst should be removed, maybe you should let me know in the comment sections. The fifth thing that I can't stand about Save the World is high level missions. So high level missions, nobody plays them, right? Because they're extremely difficult. They also mostly all of the time have explosive death bursts and just really shitty modifiers that aren't balanced at all whatsoever. So therefore, since they're not fun and since they give out shit rewards, nobody wants to play them as well, right? And since of course the game has a group rewarding system, nobody wants to play high level missions because, that's right, sometimes you go into a high level mission and none of your teammates actually want to build. And then, since your teammates don't want to build or contribute at all whatsoever, the husks get into the objective, they break it down, and you might be guarding a specific spawn, and then you lose the mission because your teammates don't want to waste any materials or want to upgrade any of the structures. I can't stand high-level missions because of all of those flaws, but most importantly, I can't stand it because of the insulting rewards that we get from them. Like, we get 100 legendary perk up, for example, for doing a level, I don't know, 130 mission. I highly disagree with that. I think we should be getting at least 500 legendary perk up if we're doing a mission that's power level 116 and above, right? I am an end game player, okay? I am playing your game every single day. I want to level up my weapons every single day. I should be rewarded for doing these extremely hard missions drastically, not somewhat drastically, okay? I think high level missions in Save the World need to give out bigger rewards, and most importantly, they also need to give out some materials as well, right? Because if they're not gonna fix the group reward system, I think if we get a level 3 chest, for example, we should be getting at least like 40% of our materials back, man. All right, because I cannot stand doing these high level missions and then having players basically just not build anything, and I have to build all of the freaking, you know, trap materials and all of that stuff. It's just something that I can't stand, man. But those are 5 things that I can't stand about Fortnite Save the World. On a separate video, I'm going to talk about 5 other things that I can't stand about Save the World, because originally I was going to do 10, but then I realized, oh shit, this video is going to be super long, and you guys know me, I don't like making super long videos. So yeah, I will be seeing you guys on my next video. I love Save the World. I'm very passionate about it. And again, I'm very positive towards the state of the game. I think the game is on an amazing state right now, and in Season 10 is probably going to be even better. But I do think that these 5 things, as well as the other 5 things that I'm going to address on a future video, need to be fixed or balanced in some sort of way, right? Because they just make the game, you know, kind of a drag to play sometimes. Let me know what are your thoughts in the comment sections below. If you liked the video, drop it a like, and if you disliked it, drop it a dislike. See you guys in the next one.